A Pueblo man who has visited what he thought was his grandmother's grave for decades, only to learn she's not actually there.
The gravesite is in La Junta, and city officials tell him someone else could be buried there, or it might just be empty. Investigative reporter Tyler Cunnington brings us this KRDO 13 Investigates special report, Where's My Grandma?
Fairview and Cavalry cemeteries down in the city of La Junta. It's where several members of Sam Montano's family have been laid to rest, including his grandmother, Bessie L. Zamora.
Born in 1916, and she passed away in 1946.
At just 30 years old, she left behind several children. One of them, Sam's mother, Florence, or as many knew her by, Flo. She went her whole life with no memories of Bessie, her own mother.
And her dying wish was to be buried beside her own mother's grave, because she never knew her mother very much, so she felt she wanted to be close to her in death. I promised her on her deathbed that I would do that.
Cancer ultimately cutting Flo's life short in the fall of 2022. A very religious family, Sam got this tattoo on his arm to keep her spirit alive with him.
It's a reminder of what we've gone through, and it's also a reminder of my faith.
It was in September of 2023 that Sam buried his mom's cremains right here across from his grandmother's headstone.
My kind of last memory of her here before them closing the dirt was me putting her in the ground.
Bank records show that he paid the city cemetery $155 to bury his mother just days before this ceremony for her.
But then, almost exactly 1 year later, Sam got this message on his phone while he was at work.
Hello, Sam. My name is Erin Harris. I am the attorney for the city of La Junta.
Who had shocking news about his grandma's remains.
That they have no idea where my grandmother is, and that while that might be her headstone, her direct quote to me was that there might be no one in that cemetery plot. There might be two people, there might be anybody. And I asked her, well, how are we going to find out about this? And she said it's too expensive to find out about this. The city won't pay for it.
In this email from late February, obtained by KRDO 13 Investigates, the private attorney representing the city confirmed to Sam that, quote, the city does not know where she is buried and has no way of determining that. The attorney also told Sam that his mom was buried at a grave plot that's actually owned by another family. KRDO 13 Investigates obtaining a copy of the deed for the cemetery plot. The woman actually buried there has the same last name as Sam's grandma and died the same year. According to court documents, the city hasn't been able to find any record of Sam's grandma being buried there. KRDO 13 Investigates tried to ask the city how this happened. After the city ignored our calls and emails with questions, we decided to pay La Junta city manager Michael Hart a visit. We caught up with him when he was out for lunch.
I've been trying to reach out to you via email. I've left a few messages for your secretary. The city has no idea where this guy's grandma is. We're just trying to get answers on behalf of him.
I just told you I don't know what's happened in the past. Again, I've been here for less than 2 months.
He said he'd take a look at our emails and try to answer our questions later that day. But when we circled back to the office, we were told he wasn't available. After a legal back and forth that began in December, a judge ruled that the city must pay to remove and transfer Bessie and Flo's headstones, as well as Flo's cremains, over to Sam. But it's still unclear where Grandma Bessie's remains are.
There's no price tag over someone's memories, their loved ones, or their faith. And all of those have been trampled on by the city of La Junta, as far as I'm concerned.
For Sam, the reality that his mother's dying wish was never actually fulfilled is heartbreaking.
At least she knew that I tried. I don't think anybody, even at this point, would believe any of this.
Reporting in La Junta, Tyler Cunnington, KRDO 13 Investigates.
Got a feel for the family regardless of how it happened.
A tragedy.